another page.
Breaking news. Live from our own virtual White House, the new self-appointed entertainment czar is hosting a very special musical celebration to honor President Trump's 100th day in office. Take it away, Whitney.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? My name is Whitney, and I ask you to join me as we take a look back at what's been happening in our country since January 20th. There's a lot to talk about. On day one of being the commander-in-chief, millions took a collective sigh of relief. In the arena for his first round, executive orders came on down. It was a sight to see. It was history. Said no more to Paris and kept TikTok alive. Right down on the border, said that it won't slide. Pulled out of that WHO in his Gulf of America, now you know. And pardoned January 6th right away. And the executive orders just kept on coming. The second time around, he hit the ground running. Education to its states, DEI got a place, and a plan to really make this the golden age. Here we go, turning another page. Nothing is looking the same. And play by play, we're going all the way. It's all in 100 days.
That I will faithfully execute
the office of President of the United States.
The office of President of the United States.
Thank you, sir.
I don't think so.
The next item here is the withdrawal from the Paris Climate Treaty.
What is this one?
Withdrawing from the World Health Organization, sir.
Ooh, that's a big one. 45 years in the making. In a few moments, I will sign an executive order to begin eliminating the Federal Department of Education.
100 million plus U.S. users. The popular video sharing app will stay online after President Trump announced he will give negotiators another 75 days to complete a sale.
DEI is seemingly dead, keeping with the campaign promise made by President Trump. On day one, the new president signed an executive order eliminating federal DEI programs.
We're going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, which has a beautiful ring that covers a lot of territory. The Gulf of America, what a beautiful name.
Relating to events that occurred on January 6, 2021.
Okay, and how many people is this?
I think this order will apply to approximately 1,500 people, sir.
So this is January 6th. These are the hostages. Approximately 1,500 for a pardon.
Yes.
Full pardon.
Now it's time to talk about the DOGE, exposing waste, fraud, abuse for the whole world to see. From FEMA spinning off the track to Sesame Street in Iraq, and the Treasury was missing 4.7 trillion. And DOGE stood right on up to the heat. Tried to make things better, but they took to the streets. Tesla's burning all around. Tried to drive the stock into the ground, but game on. Trump got the cars to the White House lawn. Here we go, turning another page. Nothing is looking the same. And play by play, we're going all the way. It's all in 100 days.
It will enable taxpayers to know where the money is going and know that their hard-earned tax dollars are being spent well.
And he was asked about USAID among its many, many, many other wasteful, fraudulent expenditures, apparently spending tens of millions of dollars in tax money funding a Sesame Street show in Iraq.
Musk, leading DOGE, has uncovered $4.7 trillion in untraceable payments.
Rising number of Tesla attacks at car dealerships across the country.
Teslas are being torched across the country. Dealerships shot up and set on fire. Spray paint to vandalize and make a statement. People in Southern California are getting notes on their Teslas, calling them complicit Nazis for owning electric cars.
We think it's despicable what is happening to not just this American company, but also their innocent employees. And again, innocent Americans who drive these vehicles.
They've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping.
Can you tell us what you think about what's happening with the Tesla products, the violence at the dealerships? What's your take on the situation?
Sorry, I'm a little bit late here right now.
Well, I'm going to buy, and I'm going to buy because, number one, it's a great product, as good as it gets, and number two, because this man has devoted his energy and his life to doing this. I think he's been treated very unfairly by a very small group of people. And I just want people to know that you can't be penalized for being a patriot.
Around the world we had Americans in captivity, but the boss man found a way to get them back. Now they're free. Teacher held in Russia for years. His mom couldn't hold back her tears. Didn't leave him there. Trump got him in the air. Taco Bell and McKinsey back from Afghanistan. Anastasia out of Belarus and back to her homeland. 6 men in Venezuela freed, and much more that he got released. Made him understand, you don't touch an American. Here we go, turning another page. Nothing is looking the same. And play the play, we're going all the way. It's all in 100 days.
Let's pop up this tweet on your screen as President Donald Trump's envoy, Richard Brunel, saying Friday that he was headed back to the U.S. with 6 American citizens.
Take a look at this. An American who has been held by the Taliban for the last 2 years is finally back home on U.S. soil, being greeted by his family members.
You know, I feel like born again. I have no words, but anyways, I'm in debt with the President Trump. Amazing, you know. Thank God he's in the White House where he's at, and thank God he got me out. Marco Rubio, Mike Waltz, Adam Bowler. I'm in debt with everybody that was involved in this situation.
Ryan Corbett and William McKinney are on their way back to the United States this morning. Photos of Corbett and his family right here. Corbett lived in Afghanistan with his family back in 2021, and he was abducted by the terrorist group after the United States' disastrous withdrawal.
This morning, after more than a year in a Russian prison, Kusena Carolina is free and back in the U.S. Overnight, an emotional reunion at Joint Base Andrews. Carolina rushing into the arms of her boyfriend, Chris Van Heerden.
Mr. President. Mark Fogle. He looks good.
His new cabinet's a crew of legends and stars. No introduction needed, you all know who they are. And all across the nation, we watched their confirmations, and the swamp began draining right away. And Bondi put the fear of God in every bad guy. Tulsi gathered at the border, saw it with her own eyes. Pete's bringing back our military, Caroline shutting down NBC, and RFKJ fighting for health right away. Rubio is the great Secretary of State, doesn't pull any punches when he negotiates. And J.D. Vance doesn't miss a beat when world leaders come to meet. He was the right-hand man, making waves in Greenland. Greenland, here we go, turning another page. Nothing is looking the same. And play the play, we're going all the way. It's all in 100.
And I will restore integrity to the Justice Department, and I will fight violent crime throughout this country and throughout this world and make America safe again. Thank you.
As he said, the president was begging the question that I think a lot of journalists in this room should be asking about whether or not the former president of the United States, who I think we can all finally agree was cognitively impaired. I know it took people some time to finally admit that, but we all know that to be true.
From Central Asia, there were over 4,000 people who came across our borders using an ISIS-affiliated network.
Do you believe that about the police officers?
That's a general statement and a mischaracterization of what I said. I encourage you to read the rest of the interview. This is why snippets of information are often misleading and detrimental to this committee's advice and consent.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
And to all the troops and veterans watching and here in the room, Navy SEALs, Green Berets, soldiers, pilots, sailors, Marines, Gold Stars, and more. Too many friends to name. Officers, enlisted, black and white, young and old, men and women, all Americans, all warriors. This hearing is for you.
Senator, first, I need to clarify something that you said, that I have to sit up here and say these things. No, I don't. I sit up here and speak the truth. I'm not going to sit up here and say anything that I need to say to get confirmed by this body. I don't have to say anything.
The real battle is that we're getting sicker and sicker every year. And and it's really just a debate about who's going to pay the treatment. Nobody has been focused on how do we get ourselves less sick. And it's like moving deck chairs around on the Titanic.
No one's entitled to a student visa. The press covers student visas like there's some sort of birthright. No, a student visa is like me inviting you into my home. If you come into my home and put all kinds of crap on my couch, I'm going to kick you out of my house. And so, that's what we're doing with our country thanks to the president.
If a missile was fired from an enemy country or an enemy submarine into the United States, it is the people here before us who would give notice to our brave men and women further south in the United States to let people know what was coming and, God willing, to try to shoot it down and prepare for it.
Oh, Canada, there's been a few bumps in the road. We're not getting on too well as our hockey game showed. And boy, Trudeau became irate when he heard about 51st state. And Trump said he was serious. They got even more furious. The world found out our tariffs were completely for real. Trump went to the mattresses to get a fair deal. And the critics took to muttering when the markets were recovering. Now it's toe-to-toe with China and it's not backing down. Here we go, turning another page. Nothing is looking the same. And play by play, we're going all the way. It's all in 100 days.
Quinn, you probably saw the numbers. Look, I called him Governor Trudeau because they should be the 51st state, really. It would make a great state.
The Prime Minister said this weekend to a group of Canadian businessmen, he was at a private meeting, he said that your wish for Canada to be the 51st state is a, quote, real thing. Is it a real thing?
Yeah, it is. I think Canada would be much better off being a 51st state.
I am announcing Canada will be responding to the U.S. trade action with 25% tariffs against $155 billion worth of American goods.
Has he called you directly, President Xi, or reached out to try to facilitate a conversation?
Well, you'd think it was pretty obvious that he has, but we will talk about that soon. It's not that important because, honestly, we're going to have a deal. I believe we're going to have a deal with China. And if we don't, we're going to have a deal anyway because we're going to set a certain target and that's going to be it.
If President Trump gets his way, some of these deals could be closed sooner than some people might think. He says in the next 3 to 4 weeks. You heard him there. He's even optimistic about a potential agreement with China coming down the pike in the not too distant future.
Christine came out refuted what was reported about why Abrego Garcia was really deported. The courts turned to a battleground, opinions flying all around. It's clear that some would turn this gang member into a saint.
The
Democrats and the media in this room have continually and wrongly labeled Kilmar Abrego Garcia as a Maryland father. There is no Maryland father. Let me reiterate. Kilmar Abrego Garcia is an illegal alien, MS-13 gang member, and foreign terrorist who was deported back to his home country.
They think it's ridiculous what Van Hollen has done to be able to defend foreign rights instead of the rights of the American people. And the slippery slope argument. Is this the slipperiest slope you've ever seen? If they deport an MS-13 terrorist, you're next. Who? The Puerto Ricans? Anybody with a tan, Jessica? Are you next? No one believes that. This is the dictator hoax all over again, and you lost on that the last time.
The golden age of America begins right now.
We've been ripped off by every country in the world, practically, friend and foe. And we're not doing that anymore. So I have a lot of meetings set up. I don't know if I can do it. Do you want to help me out, fellas? I got a lot of meetings. I got every leader in the world, which tells you that we have a good product. It's called the United States of America, and it's great. And these people know about it better than anybody in this room. But we have a great place, and it should be a lot greater. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to make it greater than ever before. It's very simple.
Here we go, turn into the next page. Nothing is feeling the same. Trump won't back away. It's in his DNA. What's in store for the next 100 days? The next 100 days. The next 100 days. The next 100 days.
This video is dedicated to the thousands of you incredible people that have been watching my new songs in the 2025 collection, and especially those of you that have commented would like to see me invited to perform at the White House. These 100-day celebration songs are for you. Thank you so much. And a special thank you to Kiss My Tech for being an amazing sponsor and supporting pro-America content like this.